And we're live.
Welcome to LiveBrush,
Welcome back.
brushiest brush in the world.
We're here,
Starring
everybody.
Ray and guest.
I'm your guest this week, everyone. I'm your guest. We're back for episode I don't really know. I think
Episode 6, dude.
yeah, I think
That's what the banner said.
this is actually episode 5, but the banner did say episode 6. And we'll give them a nice little
No,
like Mandela effect when we post episode 6 again next time.
we're gonna. We should talk about episode 5 the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, episode 5 was so
Yeah.
good. See, the thing is, we made a banner for episode 5, everyone who's watching. And we I guess we just didn't have a show. I think we just canceled. And that's on us.
You know what? I think I remember that. I think you were going out of town or something like that. Okay, let's address that. Sorry it's been so long that we've sit between streams. Tyler and I. So where have we been, Tyler?
Yeah,
We've just been
it's just been the summer,
busy.
It's been too busy. You
Yeah.
got shows you're prepping for. I had to go to a bunch of conventions. It's just I mean, I know we do it in the middle of the week, but we just didn't have the energy to do it.
No. Or like you were like, one of us would be leaving the next day. We'd have a deadline, or yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
nuts. But we're happy to be back,
We're
everyone.
here. We're
Happy to
here.
be
We
back.
made it.
We're still alive. Still alive.
And ready to
Still alive.
roll.
Still alive.
Still alive. So what are you doing, dude? What are you doing?
Dude, I've been working on one of the big things I've been working on is a solo show in November. November 18th at My Bomb Fine Arts in East Aurora. You've been there. It's a good place.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm working on 20 new pieces, and this is one of them. And I have done, I'm finishing up number, I don't remember, 17, I think, or
Whew.
16 or 17.
That's wild,
Yeah.
man.
So this is number, I finished up number 17, I think, upstairs, and then this is number 18. So, yeah, I'm cranking away. But
Dude.
after the show's done, I'll be back to maybe jumping on 3D or something like that.
Dude, that is I mean, this is gonna be amazing, but that sounds like a ton of work. So congrats.
Yeah, thanks, dude. Thanks. I had to cut it down from 40, and then I was like, I'm gonna do 30 instead of 40, and then then I had to cut it down to 20. So I kind of feel like I'm shortchanging, but everyone else I've talked to said, including yourself, said that 20 is a large number.
Dude, 20 seems like I mean,
So,
whew, I think I'd struggle getting 10 together. But
yeah, I know.
nonetheless, you're doing it, man. You're doing it.
Nonetheless, yeah, I'm doing it. No stopping now.
No.
What are you doing, dude?
Dude, so I'm gonna
You got this is
in
a
the chat.
weird interface here.
Yeah, I saw Craig Mullins messing with this on Twitter. And so I was like, you know what? For the next stream, I'm just going to go in. I don't know anything about this program. It's got some stuff that's like Photoshop, but it's not. It's called, I don't even really know how to pronounce this. Is it just Rebel? It's Rebelle. I would assume it's Rebel.
Rebelle.
It could be Rebelle.
Rebelle.
Um,
Rebelle.
Rebelieb.
That's nice.
This
Ooh,
isn't a great
Rebelieb.
advertisement for it without knowing the actual name of it. But
Do you re-believe?
do you Rebelieb?
Re-believe in yourself.
I'm doing the trial, so I haven't bought it yet, but we'll see if I like it and want to keep using it.
Oh, right on, right on.
So
right
yeah,
on.
we're just gonna. I'm gonna
Dude,
do a movie portrait thing here. I've already done the line drawing. Voila, boom, line drawing, and I'm just gonna mess around with some paint. See if
hasn't
it
show,
works.
ha, hasn't showed up on my end yet,
All right,
but
get
it's
ready.
because the
Get
stream's
ready
a
for the
little bit
reveal,
in.
dude. Get ready for the reveal.
Let's see.
Is the stream that delayed? Must be weird with
Boom, got
the
it. Just
chat
got
if
it.
it's that delayed.
Nah, it's the way it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, looking sweet already. Call it a day.
I know, right? It's got all these weird little features like wet and dry
Yeah. So
layers.
what?
Like you can
Yeah. So what
diffuse.
sets it apart? Uh, yeah. Talk to me
Well,
here.
okay.
What sets it
Let
apart? Is it
me
like
mess
Corel
with it.
Painter?
It seems like it's kind of like that, but let me get. I know you can do weird stuff with watercolor. Let's see. Let's see. You can like turn fast dry, water is removed, blah blah blah. So I'm just gonna mess with this with like a mop, and I'll use that color. So you can like put in color like this, like it's really wet watercolor, and then you can like blow it around. You know, like you're adding water
What?
to it. Like look at that.
Yeah.
And if you do enough, it'll drip. Like it'll drip out. I'm
No
not
way.
I'm
Really?
not really sure how to guide
Okay.
the direction of it. But yeah, you see how it's like super wet?
Oh yeah. Look at that.
It's like I'm using a hair dryer or something to blow it all over the place.
Um, it's nuts. Actually.
Yeah, I mean I'm gonna delete this layer,
Maybe
but
maybe you don't. Maybe you don't guide it. That's the whole point of watercolor.
yeah, yeah.
It's kind of like you're free falling. Actually, that sounds horrible, digitally wise. Like,
Yeah, I mean I guess that's the thing, right? Like I'm in a digital mindset, so I have control. I typically have control over this, and this is like
yeah.
organic. It's like simulating wet paint. So it's wild. Let me. Someone in the chat was asking about the color mixer. Oh wow, you can blow it even more. Sorry, I'm just messing with this. I'll actually paint, I promise, but I'm just gonna mess with it.
Wait, he's not painting.
You can
You're not
dry.
painting.
Apparently, you can dry stuff too. Well, and then you can re-wet things. So if you had like, that's interesting. I don't know how this relates to the oil side of stuff, but I'm gonna delete this layer. Okay, so what was I talking about? Oh yeah, someone in the chat was looking for the color mixer, so let me bring that up and then snap it in here somewhere. There we go. So this is the color mixer, and I thought it was actually, I was messing with it before we started, and I thought it was actually pretty interesting. So let's say I have, let's see, I don't know how, oh, uh-oh. Sorry guys, I'm a Luddite here today. Okay, let's clear it. So let's say we have an actual like gray color palette. Everybody, we can make the background color gray. I bet everyone in the chat's like, oh dude, we've been using this program for years. This guy's friggin'
I
moron.
know, right?
So let's
It's been
say,
out since like 1998. Where have you
yeah,
been?
what the heck? Let's use like Mark Carter's like color palette. How about? So we have our
Marquee.
pyrrole-rubine. We have. It's hard to simulate
Draw
the
Mix
white.
Paint. Mark
Yeah,
Carter's Draw Mix Paint on YouTube. Draw Mix Paint. Check
Dramix
it out.
paint. Dramix
Really
paint.
awesome.
I'm gonna exaggerate his titanium white, which he sits in the purple area of the color spectrum. Then we have basically like he uses bismuth yellow, but it's kind of like cad yellow. Just ever so slightly warm yellow. And then I don't know how I'm gonna do burnt umber. I guess just a really, really dark orange, huh?
We got a hi from France.
Hello, France.
All right. Gee. It's pretty awesome.
And then ultramarine.
Yeah, a lot of first timers. Oh, that's pretty sweet, dude. So, oh,
Okay,
I'm looking at it right now.
So I'll put them all out here. And then let's just put them next to each other. So then you can just
Are they labeled those colors? Are they labeled those actual colors or?
No, I'm just picking them off the color wheel off the side here.
Oh, okay.
I can snap it back on, but yeah, I don't know how it's going to simulate, but let's see. Let's see. Yeah, not bad. I mean, I think when you actually do the yellow and the pyrorubine, you get a pretty intense orange, and this is pretty muted. But then again, this might be an issue with me, with what colors I picked off the color wheel.
I'm wondering if you could even tweak the properties of the color and then save it as a custom color, like to kind of like simulate the tube color, because some yellows, not all yellows are created equal, right? Some are more transparent, and
yeah, I bet
some
you
are
could.
more.
I bet you could. This looks pretty real to me when it comes to like adding white to burnt umber. Like it's kind of this grayish color. Let's see if I put this will actually be the true test here. If this is burnt umber and that's blue, ultramarine, this should be black. It's pretty close. It's more of like a purpley
awesome.
black. So
Yeah.
I don't know. The mixer's
I don't
okay.
see the black yet, but it's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how those are always like a little. Like Corel Painter always had one, and it was like, I remember messing around with that the first time.
Yeah, totally. Let's see if I can get a green out of this. I remember the Corel Painter one was actually like kind of okay.
Yeah,
this
it wasn't bad.
I'm not actually able to get a very good green out of this. So I would say I would give this mixer a D plus. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great, everyone. This is
LiveBrush reviews live.
Did you expect a review? Because you got one. Okay,
do that for like a YouTube, YouTube short. There you go. Boom. Tyler reviews Rebel, or Rebelle.
I really like what they've done though. Like, I mean, I'm criticizing one tiny little aspect of the interface, but I like, before I was messing with this, I really enjoy these brushes. So let's get into it. Let's start painting a little bit. I'm gonna use these oil brushes and just kind of just block in my shadows.
I gotta say, I've never liked any oil brushes from any piece of software, any of them.
Yeah, they're trying to do too much.
Like, yeah, it's like no one paints with oils like this, dude. Like it's like a rabid animal squeezing out, like it's just like who paint, like every brush feels like it's like got about like a half a gallon of medium in it already or on the surface, and it's just smearing all over the place, you know.
Yeah, it's like someone told them about oil painting. You know, it's like those old taxidermies from when you see in like crappy museums, like the really old taxidermy where they never saw the actual animal. Someone just kind of described it to them.
Yeah.
That's often what like oil painting. I've never seen a good simulation.
I will say that Kyle's brushes, Kyle Webster, I use his oil dry brush. That's like the best. That's the closest one. Like his brushes get the closest I think I've ever got. But I haven't tried the Max that oil paint pack from Procreate.
Oh yeah, I have
so Max. Like third party brushes.
I like them. I think Max's gouache ones are really good. Like it really feels like gouache to me. The oil still could use work, but I mean, I wish I knew how to. Maybe that's something we could work on, dude. Is like figure out how to make these kinds of brushes and get it just right, to like what we're used to.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know what I'm doing. Actually, I'm painting a portrait from a movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, Last of the Mohicans, and I'm painting
Star Trek One. Yeah,
Star Trek One. I'm painting one of the best characters in the movie, Chingachgook, who is the last of the Mohicans. Not to spoil anything, but is played by the awesome Russell Means, and I'm just doing a little portrait from it looked like a movie still, or it actually might have been like an advertising piece or something, where the actor's just kind of standing there and being the character.
Yeah. They say cut, and they're like, hold it right there, and then the photographer comes in and shoots some promo stuff.
Must have been that. So yeah, I'm just gonna mess with
that. We got a couple of old regulars here. We got Alec and Nick. Nick, are you very welcome? For the they got some artist proofs.
Oh, you got some APs, dude.
From yours truly. Yeah. I sent them over the Great Furnace piece. Actually, one of my first magic pieces.
Congrats, everybody. Congrats to Ray. He's got some magic pieces coming out.
Oh, we do. Appreciate it. But it's always, dude, it's so much fun working in a new software, especially one that's like drawing and painting, because you kind of know the gist. Like, you get it. I could say that it's super frustrating 3D wise.
Yeah.
But now I'm getting to a point now with 3D that I'm starting to be able to go in and mess around and not completely be lost. So you know what demo or trial that I just downloaded was 3D Coat.
Oh, sweet. What do you think of it?
Yeah, because we were talking about that. It's like Nomad Sculpt on steroids.
Holy
so
smokes.
Like, it's like you could do way more with it, and it's got all these different types of things you can do, but it's crazy. Some of the things are nuts. A lot of the functionality I actually have in Blender add-ons. By the way, so in between episodes, I've been getting into a lot of 3D. So I'm like a Blender junkie. I just love it. So I'm not using ZBrush anymore, just because I found out that I could do a lot of the stuff in Blender that I wanted to do, and then some. So, but ZBrush is awesome. It's just, I'm not going to pay a subscription for it. And only use it every so often,
Yeah, this is my issue with it, is I never use it, but I pay the subscription.
It's tough because so like 3D Code is like an alternative to that. It's not as well known, obviously, as ZBrush, but some incredible artwork comes out of it, and you can do a lot of nice sculpting with it. It's different technology wise, but I'm not going to bore you with the details. But it's very different. It's a voxel engine. So if you know what that means,
dude, I don't. But you don't have to.
Engine, so.
But you don't have to get into it. Oh
yeah.
My God, I just did something.
Yeah.
Weird. What the hell? Oh, okay, sorry. Keep going. I'm learning over here.
I'm waiting for this to show up. Dude, it looks actually like on my end. Looks actually really natural.
I found this neat brush. It's just like a knife brush, but it's actually the most oily feeling brush to me. It has some sort of weird tilt feature that I haven't figured out yet, but it currently feels the most oily to me.
My favorite is that like artists that like who are painters end up. I wonder how developers feel when like an artist comes in and is like, yeah, I got this sweet ass oil effect, and you're like, okay, did you use one of the oil brushes that we spent forever on? It's like, no, this chalk brush is perfect.
Yeah,
just exactly. Tweaked a little bit. It's exactly
every time, dude. Every time. It's always that way. It's like, yeah, I got this just this round brush, and if I just flatten it out a little bit and change the opacity, looks like oils.
Boom, just tweak a jitter and then we're good.
The one thing this has is it has like, let's see if I can So it has paint. It has paint and mix. And then it has paint and blend, which I'm not really seeing much of a difference in the settings. But whatever. We're rolling with it, folks. We're exploring this.
Yeah, you know, I have you tried? It almost sounds like Adobe Fresco, which I've only tried for a little bit, and I was like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah, I tried it for a little bit.
Some people that use it love it, like love it, love it.
Yeah, I don't know if I love it, but maybe I just got to mess with it some more.
Yeah. I say that Procreate is perfect for me.
Okay, this has a cool feature here that I want to talk about real quick.
Yeah, do it.
You can just there are like so many different modes. I still haven't figured out the paint versus the paint and mix versus the paint and blend, but the blend and erase, you can just have it all be the same brush, like really quickly switching in between, which I mean I know you can do in Photoshop, but with like hotkeys and stuff like that, but I'm just, I'm learning on the fly here, everyone. Bear with me.
Yeah, but it looks like it's interacting a little bit more naturally with the medium.
Yeah, I'd say
it's not
so.
Just like pixels,
Yeah, it's not like they have the smudge tool and it looks really fake, when you do it. It looks really digital. I don't know. So I like this current brush that they have, which is kind of nice. This will be cool. This will be interesting. I know there's some really thick Impasto brushes that I'll save for the lights on this piece. Save your thick paint for the lights, everybody. Just like Norman Rockwell. What?
Just laughing. You'd see like half of the audience be like, what? Norman Rockwell? Is that like your grandfather or something?
No. It'd be cool though. I mean, he's someone's grandfather, right?
Right, that's true. Norman Rockwell, look him up. Super famous illustrator.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about Norman Rockwell, do we?
No, we don't. Let's talk more about. I'm enjoying watching you go through this.
Yeah, I know.
This thing here.
Okay, so I did figure out it does have a weird tilt that kind of makes no sense. And that's, dude, do you remember Wacom used to make that like barrel rolling art brush?
Dude, the 3D brush, man.
Yeah, I loved that.
I saw it. Yeah, I have it here somewhere.
And they don't really. I mean, I think they still make it, but it's like when it first came out, it was actually like oval shaped and amazing. And now it's just a round brush, so it's much harder to sort of track the tilt of it. I wish they would bring that sort of like weird chiseled one back. It was like a marker. Yeah. A marker shape.
Right. Yeah, you really could like really feel the edge, like the way it's tilted, It worked really well, I thought. I definitely used it. Especially like Corel Painter too.
Yeah, you could just track your tilting so much. Okay, I'm kind of getting the understanding of this tilt mechanism.
Geez, do people still use Corel Painter?
Yeah, I think it's just called Painter now, right?
Oh.
I don't know. Anyone in the chat? You guys use Corel Painter? Oh, by the way, chat. We used to. We haven't set this up yet, but we used to have the ability to what was it called? The chat bot that would throw all this extra info in there. Haven't set that up yet.
That's okay.
But
it's all outdated info.
Yeah, but it usually says like ask questions and all that stuff. But yeah,
Oh yeah, that's right.
please feel free to ask us questions as we roll here, as I slowly figure out how to use this program.
It's picking it up fast.
Dude, have you seen Last Mohicans?
It's been a long time, but
Okay,
yes, I do remember as a kid seeing it.
it's one of my
It's kind
favorite
of
movies
crazy.
ever.
Daniel Day-Lewis, right?
Yeah, he plays Hawkeye. And
Unrecognizable, by the way.
yeah, it was kind of interesting because it's during he'd already won an Oscar when he did this movie, so it's like a lot different than you used to seeing him a certain way. But
Right.
it's just an amazing movie. Michael Mann is the director. It's got one of the best soundtracks of all time. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't
Vangelis?
seen it, check it out. Yeah, Vangelis. No, Tangerine Dream, dude. Okay, I see this. I get this
I,
now.
I,
So,
I could hear Kate far away pumping her
yeah,
fists.
dude, I know.
Celebration of that.
Fucking loves that Tangerine Dream. Oh man,
Freaking loves Tangerine Dream.
too much probably.
All right. It's Robbie too much, yeah. You can see it in the eyes, you know?
You can always tell someone who loves Tangerine Dream.
Yeah.
Well, like I think we've talked about this on the show a whole bunch, but I think they also did. Maybe it was the Vangelis who did the Bounty. Do you remember Bounty with Anthony Hopkins? Daniel Day-Lewis is in it as well, um, and
No,
Mel
I think so. I
Gibson.
don't think I do.
Oh, it's great.
Mm,
It's Mutiny on the Bounty,
hmm.
but they remade it in the '80s, not like the Marlon Brando version. This is the Anthony Hopkins version.
Hoppy. Old Hoppy, man.
Old Hoppy, as he's referred to.
And amongst the actors.
Oh, okay. This is coming together.
No,
I
I
kind of like this
actually,
program, dude. This
yeah,
is
man.
cool.
Yeah. It looks like you. It doesn't feel like you're having to beat the thing in a submission.
Someone wrote a very funny comment in the in the comments.
Complain that no weak actors.
Yeah, that was my biggest complaint too. I was like, "Come on, guys, couldn't get some Mohicans for this." Oh man. Okay. So you can change the tilt on this is very counterintuitive, but
Look at that. And so then you get, so with every color, you get like a whole string of like light to darks, like a scale on your
oh
right hand
no,
corner.
no, this is like they have a bunch of presets. This was one of the presets just called body, so it's kind of like a bunch of skin tones that I'm gonna use as my base,
Interesting.
I actually kind of like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. So what you do usually in painting, right? It's like you just kind of mix up a base, like a set base that you kind of always go off of, and then make your unique colors after the fact.
Right, which is what I do most of the time. I'll just like
Yeah.
pump in a whole bunch of like a whole bunch of overlay layers just to get like some crazy color transitions or whatever, and that's enough for me to go off of, and I'll just sample all over the place. But I'm
Right.
trying to be a little more direct with this because the whole point of this program is it's like touting itself as a real painting program. So I want to be a little bit more direct as opposed to just like sampling everywhere. I kind of want to like collect my colors off the color wheel or mix them. Although I didn't like the mixer, so I don't think I'm going to use it.
Well, eventually it's like it's like a balance between like what makes a strong, like the painting like analog, the advantage of that versus digital.
Yeah, yeah,
I
I
wonder
think
if it's
so.
like when designing something like that, like how much of a balance is like, do we really need to simulate everything, like all the crappy stuff?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
dude,
But
I think that's exactly right. I think there's like a how do we make a useful tool and remove all the frustrations that people might have with certain aspects of actual physical paint,
right.
which it seems like they've done here, at least with the watercolor features, where they've kind of made it so that you can dry stuff or wet stuff or re-wet stuff, which is a pretty cool thing to be able to do.
Oh yeah, definitely. So you got a question, Tyler. Does your pen register tilt?
Yeah, so I'm using the tilt feature at the moment, but it's the the so I don't know if you can see you see this thing like that is a little counterintuitive because it's really subtle, and then there's this tilt wheel over here that I don't really understand what it is yet. Maybe it locks your tilt. I'll have to run through some tutorials. This is why you
Oh
do
yeah, I just saw it.
tutorials.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't know
so
what I would
it's
do.
doing
What
something. Oh boy.
I don't know I'm sure like that looks like one of those things where like once you, I need somebody to explain it to me. Like, okay, what's the purpose behind this? Like, what is it actually doing? And then after that, then I can understand how to use it. Like, it contextualizes it. I like tutorials. Also, like, it depends on. I don't know, I've been watching a lot of tutorials, and I'm realizing what type of learner I am. Like, I hate tutorials that like do this, like do step one, then step two, then step three, and then step four, and then you're done. It's not a tutorial. It's just
Yeah.
like, this is how I did it.
Yeah, that's like did you ever watch like miniature painting tutorials?
No.
Maybe yeah, but
Well, some of them,
that's like
but it's some of them
almost
like,
that's like always how it works is something like that. Like
yeah,
um oh, just paint this down and then paint that down and then paint that down and it's
right,
like
right,
give me
right. Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like,
want
here I
to paint
start with
like
my
that.
base. Here's my gray. Here's my gray primer, and then I start with the base, and then I thin it down. I go like that, and I get the dirt. Yeah,
I have
yeah. I saw like some Warhammer people like a long time ago. Probably something you sent me.
yeah, I was used to be really into that, so that was like I still enjoy watching those kinds of videos.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
this is making sense. The fact that I have like a
There we go.
tilt to the brush makes it's the thing I'm always trying to like achieve in Photoshop. Is like a tilt to my brush.
I mean, not everyone has a an ergotron arm that just rotates their entire
Yeah.
monitor.
I guess I wonder if there's a rotate tool in here. I still don't understand what this tilt menu is. Oh, there might be. Oh, okay. Well, I could like do that. Nah, that's all right. Thanks for bearing with us, chat. This is definitely some explorations.
You should be apologizing to me too.
Oh yeah, sorry, Ray. I forgot about you.
Alec has a great question. Can you dip your stylus in linseed oil?
Yeah, I certainly can. I'm a little worried about the effect, but I can definitely do it.
I feel like you're being overly.
Tilt the canvas. I'm trying to explore this tilt tool, but I'm gonna have to watch something to understand it.
Also, it could just be a fact that like not every feature is usable.
True. Yeah,
for you.
that's true.
You know.
But I mean, most of the time it looks like I just don't understand it. So if I tilt my brush very awkwardly, I can get it to rotate the other way. It's always fun trying to do this.
I think it's looking great so far.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
It's got a nice natural look to it too.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a just a messy oil painting, which I'm very happy with.
Mm-hmm.
I can never get this effect in Photoshop.
There's like a little bit of like a nice fall off on the brush too at the tail end of things. Like the like like a brush is like the pigment is not evenly dispersed across the brush.
Right, right. And this one's just called knife dry. I wouldn't even call it a knife. It feels more like a flat that I'm like holding at an angle or something.
That's perfect for you. You like flats, right? Is that your thing?
Yeah, I used to paint with them a lot. I've kind of moved a little bit back into
Old Town Phillies?
filberts, yeah. But like just for the right effect, like if I need something to be a bit softer, filbert's great for it. Wow, this is the frustrating part, getting the thing to tilt just right.
Yeah, the tilt, that's like stopping and rotating it. Or
Yeah, I wonder if I'm just gonna
there's
mess
got to
with
be
this
a.
little thing until I figure it out. No.
One thing I like about Procreate and then Apple Pencil, it's like I don't even think about it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just tilt it. I don't know. That's the one brush I was talking about, though. That old Wacom brush. That's the thing, man. Gotta find that again. So what you got going on over there, man?
Yeah, I'm working on underpainting here in acrylics. Go on top of it. Um, laying it in right now. Just got to move on this thing. It's basically a printout of a color pencil and airbrush acrylic drawing study that I did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, but I need a. I was doing it on like the Kinko's blueprint printer, and
Yeah, you were talking about that.
probably it's not
You
that
moving away
great.
from that?
Yeah, it's. I like them. It's just like, but it's not like exactly what I want, though. You know, it's like you got to settle for like a really bad reproduction of your piece that gets all the shapes in. That's fine, but like anything beyond like a nice line drawing and some little basic tone is kind of a waste of money and a waste of your time. You just gotta. So I would want more of a like the printer that Chris has and
Yeah,
that
I
type of
think
stuff.
I still got to pick
Like a
one
larger
of those
format
up.
one.
I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I got to do it.
I'm not even
Chris,
sure
you mean
where I
Chris
would
Ron?
put it. Yeah, Chris Ron's printer. I don't even know where I would put it in my studio at the moment.
You can put it anywhere. It's wireless too, which is sweet.
Yeah, I think I'd have to like carve. I'm looking around my studio. Like that helps anybody in the chat. Um, I'm looking like where could I hide a giant printer like that?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's huge.
It's not as big. Kieran Yanner. He has the really big one of those giant cannons.
That's right. Yeah, the giant like Donato size one, right?
Yeah, yeah. He just has I think a Canon. Donato might have a Epson, but
Epson, right? I said Donato sized.
Yeah, Donato sized.
But yeah, he so that he has a really big one, like the one you could do like
Oh yeah, the
30
one
by
that's like
40s and
giant rolls, right? Like huge rolls.
yeah. Oh, that's see the one on wheels, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, ideally, I would like that. But the one that Chris has what? Like it could print up to like a pretty decent size, right? 24 by
24,
36 or
yeah,
something like that.
24. Oh, and as long as you want, but it can do 24 wide.
That's
That's kind of perfect, right?
that's kind of perfect, you know. But yeah. Um so that's what I'm doing now. I'm really enjoying working in acrylics. I'm gonna work on top of oils. Doing this underpainting. It's a mixture of raw umber and ivory black. I do it so I know I do underpaintings like this because I know my first color pass is just going to be all value based anyway. So I might as well just work in value. I can work a lot faster, and then I can go back on top of it with color and just concentrate on the color.
So why do you think
That's it.
it's helpful for you to work in value like that first?
It's because it allows me to see the light and darks of the shapes a lot more clear, and I can control that. And the light and darks, as you know, Tyler, are the value pattern, the value design of the image is the most important part of it. It's what determines its readability. So,
Don't assume that I know that.
if I can nail that down,
you don't know if I know that.
well, clear. That is true. I have been on your website by accident.
Yeah, I don't know anything. Pretend like I don't know anything.
I know, like Chat GPT style. Like, describe it to me as if I was a 4-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
Value, good, color, not as important. Yeah. So if I go over it, I can work faster in color if I have a base of value. Because if I know how light or how dark the color is, it makes life so much easier. Because it's really what when you're working on color, what your primary concern is when you're putting it in, especially when you're starting from a blank canvas. So if you notice, like Tyler likes to work from a base, like a middle tone, where he's just blocking in his major values of light and shadow, and also addressing local value. It's a base, and then you could work color nuance right back on top of that. So I've got a lot of elements. I've done that too, like just with straight color. But when I have a lot of elements, I would rather have to sit and mix every single individual color. If knowing full well I'm just going to go over it, I'm just going to cover it up again in the second layer. So
That makes sense.
yeah, it's how you and I work digitally.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
common way.
I still I was playing devil's advocate. I knew what you were gonna say.
Oh, really?
I totally
Really?
knew. I knew exactly what you were gonna say. But I wanted to pretend like I didn't, for effect.
Well, dude, I mean, I'm nominating you for a Webby. What are the
A Webby Award. When we become famous YouTube personalities, we can collect all of our rewards. As in
greatest performance by a host?
Yeah. Truly,
on an ongoing series.
Truly tricked everyone into thinking he didn't know the principles.
I mean, Tyler embodied the clueless, the milieu of the naivete.
Yeah, really got you guys. Really tricked you.
Damn, Tyler, I mean, he doesn't know anything, man.
Guy doesn't know shit.
Idiot.
How's he even painting? How's he out there painting? He doesn't know anything.
The program's doing it for you. I mean, we all know
That's
that.
true, that's
Everyone
true.
knows in the chat knows.
What was that documentary about Struzan, and they like interview Spielberg for part of it.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
he's like, he's not an artist that's just clicking a bunch of keys. Like there's any artist.
And he's
that does
like
that.
he proceeds to like press keys in the air, and I'm like, dude, you are definitely not around computers often.
Yeah,
Like
you
you
are
definitely have somebody else write your emails for you. Like
out of touch,
I know,
sir.
I can see that. Clearly, somebody writes your emails for you.
Just click a
It's
bunch
awesome.
of keys. Yeah, no one does. There's no program that you click a bunch of keys. Well, I guess there is now. Actually, I take it back.
Right.
There is now. It's called Midjourney.
That's funny. That is funny. Oh, so Nick's got a great question, and because it's something that I want to know about.
Yeah.
Tyler,
Hit
can
me.
you talk about your big Lord of the Rings magic piece?
Oh, dude, I
How
can't
did you
believe.
specifically how
Have
you
we?
went about the composition, how you nailed it? Did it come out when we? No, no, I don't think it did.
Dude, I was just about to ask
In
that.
May?
Had it not been out when we did our last show? Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is huge. This is huge. That we haven't even spoken about this yet. So yeah, anybody who's unaware in the chat, I did a massive piece for Magic's Lord of the Rings set, and I was actually the lead concept artist on it. So I redesigned like a whole lot of the characters, and by redesign I mean we just re-envisioned everything because we had to, like by design we had to.
Dude, I didn't know you were the lead on it.
Well, I wasn't the 100% by myself lead, but I was on the team working with a video, and he kind of brought me in, and he was like, we have a lead in house. Jihan's kind of like their lead on everything, but they needed, so because he was busy, they needed someone to sort of be like semi vision holder on what we wanted the universe to look like, and we had to, because of the nature of it being a licensed product, we had to make it not look like any of the movies, any of the tabletop games, like nothing. It couldn't look like anything that we'd seen before, which that made it quite a challenge actually, because we all have.
So is that your first time reading the books then?
Yeah, first time. I was actually the kind of like the lore master on it.
I was just gonna say Tyler is like a Tolkien. What do you call somebody who's like a mega fan?
Tolkienite. I don't know.
Tolkienite. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, but I was like, don't call us Tolkienites. You know what I mean? Like it's like one of those.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
Trekkies versus Trekkers sort of thing.
Right. Oh God, is that still a debate? Oh my God.
Well, listen. Knowing you, I tread lightly when it comes to that stuff. So, but I derailed. My bad. So tell me. First of all, perfect choice for somebody who was like kind of like a vision thing, because you're very near, the source material is near and dear to your heart. But
yeah. Okay, so our mission was we had to make it not look like anything we'd ever seen before in the space. So I grew up with Ralph Bakshi's Lord of the Rings. So when Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings came out, it was like, oh, this is a whole new take on the Lord of the Rings. Wow. And that's kind of what we were going for this time, even though it's so recent in everyone's memory. We wanted to kind of, give a really new look, give a new hot take on this universe. So I redesigned a bunch of the Fellowship, and so did Jihan and a bunch of other people we had on the push for it. And when it came to actually doing the set, a video was like, hey, do you want to do this giant Lord of the Rings battle scene? And I was like, absolutely. But maybe 8 months into the project later, I think I don't know. It's safe to say that the project kind of broke me. It was hard.
You're like, Pippin, where are we going?
Yeah. oh, let's do it.
I'll be there. Where are we going?
Yeah, it was hard
And
to
you're
do.
just like, oh,
It's
God.
it beat me up real good. It took 6 months to do it.
I
And
can't believe you did that fast. Honestly,
well, yeah, I mean, I don't do, like I've said it so many times, I don't do 18 cards for Magic in a year. And this was 18
right?
cards that all came together into one giant battle scene. But they, it all had to be up to the resolution and fidelity of a Magic piece. So
Right.
that was the challenge, right? How the heck do we pull this off? So yeah, I mean that was the gist essentially. Did this giant piece, and it's finally out. It was really great to see it out in public. And I've done a bunch of shows lately, and people have brought up all 18 cards for me to sign.
Whoa.
It's pretty cool to see all 18.
How cool did that look? Oh my
Oh, it was
God.
amazing.
Dude, hell yeah. Did you ever count do you have an actual tally of how many figures total?
No, I should. I should go back through it.
Dude, you have to. I was looking at it the other day because why we were just looking at it. I think I was showing somebody at work and I was like, you need to look at this. Oh, I was showing a student, a visual arts passive student. And I'm like, look at the shape design on this battle. Like, look how many people there are. You could still read each individual moment. So
Yeah,
how are
yeah.
you designing that? Like you had everything in like, did you like a thumbnail or like a pretty
I
involved sketch
so
to kind of
dude, that's kind
work
of
it out?
the tricky part was trying to, yeah, do that, to work it all out like that. And sorry, I'm just messing with some layers here, and it's really distracting me. Sorry. So I did like a rough overlay that kind of had all the frames in it, like the card frames, right?
Hmm.
If folks in the chat, if you're probably familiar with the look of a Magic card. So it was, I kind of just had all that together on one big file, and then I kind of roughly sketched in what I wanted to be there. Like I want Aragorn to be here, and I want a bunch of the Fellowship to be along the bottom. But just to step back just a moment, like just the idea of doing a scene like this and what was going to be needed for the mechanics of Magic cards. It was like, okay, so if we need lands, we have to have the horizon like super high on this overall image,
Right.
so that we can have some lands run across the top, and some flyers, so we can see a little bit of the sky, and we'll have the horizon up there for our lands like Minas Tirith and Barad-dûr, and then we'll have some flyers up in the sky, and that kind of ultimately like dictated the overall composition, where your horizon line is.
Oh wow! So it was based off the need of like what cards needed to be in that set
Yes, yes. So
type.
like most
Oh
Magic
wow! I didn't know that.
illustrations is like mechanically bound to what Magic was going to need.
Right.
But they gave me a lot of leeway to kind of pick and choose what I wanted and where. And that was nice because I didn't have to. They weren't like, hey, all of this stuff has to be here. Good luck, you know. So I kind of picked, like, I was like, I'm going to put this guy here and this guy. What was really funny, if you see the original or the final image, in the middle of it is Theoden on his white horse, like rearing up as the Witch King's coming down to destroy him. And somehow, I don't know how this happened, somehow, but as that was going to print, they changed that to Éomer. So that section of the painting,
No.
the card says Éomer. Which no one seemed to notice. Like none of the players out there seemed to notice, which is fine. But I was just sort of like, oh, I was so freaked out when it first, when the preview of it hit. I was like messaging the art directors and being like, this isn't what it's supposed to be. Is this like, what are we going to do here? And, it was a mistake, but it was necessary for the mechanics of Magic. So it made sense. But not my intention. It was not how I intended it to be.
I can't believe you messed that up for everyone.
Yeah, it's my fault. Shoot, but what else? Oh, is there a question? Who designed the Nazgul? Was that you or based someone else's? Nick, I think that was Mike Lem. Darkin did the Nazgul
Oh, that's
design.
perfect. That's a perfect. He's a perfect choice for that.
Yeah, so I based off of his stuff. What is it? I think Jihan did the Legolas's design, or most of it. I did Aragorn's design, and well, maybe Boromir's not in the image, but I did Gandalf, Boromir, Aragorn, and a little bit of some of the other guys. Those designs were my designs, but Gandalf and Boromir are not in that image because Boromir's dead by that time in the book. Spoiler alert, everybody.
Whoa, spoilers, dude! I don't.
If you haven't read The Lord of the Rings yet, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah,
Lord
so
of the
yeah, I
Rings
mean,
stream.
and then it came together finally, and now it's finally out for people to see. Super
Amazing.
exciting.
Amazing. Yeah, congrats, dude. That's awesome.
Thank you. It was a hell of a piece. Took a lot out of me.
Yeah, I would. Is that the most ambitious piece you've ever done?
Easily. Hands down.
I was like, because I can't think of anything else
I've done some
could even touch the scale.
I thought like the Black Jesus mural that I did was pretty big, but it wasn't this level of. I just had to paint like accurate portraits of people. That I feel like, it's crazy to say this, but I feel like that's easy compared to what.
That's easy, right? No, yeah, because you weren't designed like it was just okay. Here's the reference. Let me faithfully recreate it.
Yeah, it's like when you have direct reference of an actor right in front of you, it's so much easier to work with than I got to make this entire scene up, and everything in it has to be made up.
And on model.
And then on the model, of everything that we made, which is another challenge.
And then on top of that, it's not just figures either.
Yeah, it's like horses and it's also it's also like the challenge of figuring out how to place everything in the right spot, and that stuff is that's like illustration. That's the core of illustration to me is the tricky solves, right? Like we got to I got to make an illustration that fits across all of these different book covers or something like that, which I've done in the past.
Right.
Like I did a Thor piece for San Diego Comic-Con, and it was 5 different characters from the Thor comics that had to fit on 5 different panels, but all look like they're in the same scene. So that was one of the biggest ones I'd done until this one came along.
Right. Well, it kind of prepped you for it, right? I mean,
yeah, it was definitely next level.
It was, Plus, that was like you just had to do that over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, essentially, I just had to figure out how to make those guys stick in the place. I mean, my biggest concern painting this Lord of the Rings piece was, how do I make it not look like a grid? That was my biggest worry. I didn't want it to look like intentionally gridded. And so I worked a lot just kind of pushing things around and filling in sort of dead space here and there so that it wouldn't look like a perfectly gridded image. And I think I kind of pulled that off, maybe.
How big can you say how big the file size was?
I had to be a PSB. I had to go way over 2 gigs.
Nice.
Way over. So yeah, I think the final one I trimmed down to not be a PSB for the turn-in, but working on it with all the different layers, it had to be PSB.
It'd take you a half a day just to send the final file over.
It took a while. I think the full size Photoshop one, I was right at the edge of 2 gigs because I wanted it to be really high fidelity for them.
Of course.
Dude, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try some of these thick. They have these weird thick paints in here, very impasto-y looking. That's a filbert. There we go. Oh yeah, dude, it's got like. All right, I'm gonna zoom in here, everybody. Look at that impasto effect. Oh yeah. I wonder if you can turn that down.
Sit here.
Yeah, look at how thick that is. Can you see?
See that? Not yet.
This is definitely like Corel Painter. If you can blend that around.
Nice.
Oh, you can. You can just blend. You can just put impasto in if you want. That's a cool feature.
Oh, cool. That's nice. That looks super like very natural.
Super.
Like it's going into wet paint. How many times I caught myself doing that?
What's saying something is supernatural?
Yeah, like, but by accident. Like, oh, that's super natural.
Not the television show. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna mess with this impasto. Maybe. We'll see.
Right.
Ray, we got a question for you from Clint. How often do you work digitally?
Hey, Clint, man. So, what's up, Clint? It's the director of Principal Gallery, Tyler.
Oh, no way. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Very nice to meet you digitally.
Yeah, I know. This is probably as close as you want to get, Clint, to Tyler. So yeah. Clint, yeah, I work digitally for all of my my illustration work, and then I work quite a bit. Every fine art piece also starts digitally. Like I edit my photos really heavily in Photoshop, all my photo reference, and I'll often draw out my compositions on my iPad just because I can just draw things at a really small scale and blow them up. And then I will have that digitally printed, and I'll my line drawings, and then I'll mount it onto a board, and which is an old illustration technique. So, but then in terms of like fully digital stuff, anytime I do an illustration, I often will do this stage, this underpainting stage. If I'm going to do an original for it, I will often do my underpainting stage digitally, just because it's just faster, and then I'll paint color back on top of that. So
it's awesome how like I techniques we learned as illustrators are applicable across all types of art creation, you know.
Dude, seriously, right? I think that gives people a leg up too, because you realize, like, I mean, how, you know, every artist works the way it works for them, but there are also certain techniques that I look at, like processes that are like, yeah, that was cutting edge 300 years ago, but it's not cutting edge now, and there's a faster way that I can do it. So
yeah, I mean, if there's a theme on this show, it's that, right? That there's no true way to do anything. That you got to do what works for you.
Exactly. Especially now with 3D, it's really kind of opening doors for me. At least on the illustration end, for sure. I don't know how it's going to affect me with my gallery pieces yet, but
I bet there's some really cool stuff you could potentially do with
for sure.
You know,
for sure. Yeah, especially 3D scanning and
yeah, that's the thing, right? Like if you went out, you know, when you collect your reference from nature, if you were able to scan that somehow and like adjust the lighting and all these weird modern tool approaches.
Yeah, you totally can. You could do it with your phone. The only problem is when everything that I do is it's directly lit, and that's like super important. That's what brings me to it. Brings me to paint the piece in the first place is like stuff that I just find.
Yeah.
That if I were to take a scan on that, because there's this stuff called Polycam. It's I don't know if you've ever seen that before. It's
No.
you basically you use your phone to create photo scans. And you can use your cell phone to do it,
What the
and
heck?
the scans are really good.
Is this
Yeah,
like an
oh
Apple
yeah, man,
thing?
it's
Is this an
sick.
Apple thing?
Um,
Don't tell me it's an
I
Apple
don't
thing.
think it is, but I kind of want to say it is, just so you can be jealous.
Dang it.
I don't know what you're doing.
I use
No,
it.
yeah, no, it's
I
I
use
don't
a
think it is. I
non-Apple
think
device.
I don't even I don't even
Yeah.
I don't
You don't
know
even know
what
how
you
to
use.
you don't even know
I
how to
have to.
compute that.
Let's just say I can't even text him on his own phone. I've got to go through like another third party app in order to communicate with Tyler.
Yeah,
It's just like
do
trying to
we
get in
use
contact with the
WhatsApp
Pope or something.
Yeah, but
Signal
you're
or
not sending the doves out properly in that situation. Send those doves, dude.
so, so yeah, but you can if it works best when there's very diffuse lighting. So no light at all.
That's wild.
There is this thing called neural radiance fields, nerfs that though capture, like you could capture a lit scene and it will be three-dimensional and everything like that, and it will capture reflections too really well, because photo scanning doesn't capture reflections. It doesn't really do well on reflected surfaces because you're constantly
The specular
everything's
is like
based off
getting
your
in front of it.
position.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's all like the computer just doesn't know what to do with it.
Right. It's like I would assume it's like the specularity is sort of blinding the lens to the actual topography.
Exactly, is it doesn't know what to do as you're moving around, because you have to move around the object so you can give as much information as possible, and it builds a mesh as you're seeing it, as you're moving around it. It's nuts.
That's cool though. I mean,
So there, yeah, it's super, it's sick. It's like you could take that into like something like Nomad Sculpt on your iPad if you wanted to, and you could just have a scene. So like Glenn Southern, the dude who does all the Nomad tutorials, you know what I'm talking about, right?
yeah.
I always
Yeah.
send you. He's like the Nomad guy. So actually, I'm I could talk about on here. I'm getting ready to put it together. We might be interviewing him for the Visual Arts Passage podcast that I
Oh, no way.
co-host. Yeah. I just talked to him today, so it's gonna be pretty sweet. But Glenn put together is Southern GFX on YouTube. If you're interested in getting into Nomad Sculpt, he's like the guy. He's a great teacher. He's got free stuff on his YouTube page, but also his courses are really well put together, like really well put together. And so I own a bunch of them. But Glenn had this one where he did this like crab creature, and he shows how he concepted it out in Procreate, I think, and then sculpted it up in Nomad. But then at the end, to put the crab creature in, it's like a crab man, right? To put him in an environment, what he did was he photo scanned a set of steps in a brick wall and then just threw the environment in there, and
Really?
and casted a spotlight on it, and it looked like the police were like showing up.
That's
to
amazing.
like or like a flashlight. Dude, it was sick. It was sick.
That is really cool.
So photo scans are the thing. They're like, that's the thing you do, and a lot of concept artists are using them now instead of like photo packs.
Yeah, it's such a great way to just like get your own assets really quick.
Exactly.
Just from the real world instead of going in there and like building everything.
Yeah, and there are ways around. I mean, there are limitations to them, obviously, but you do get a lot of stuff for free, reality-wise, So, yeah. So, Polycam is one of them. I know that. I have to take. I'm going to get into that pretty soon after this. I got to wrap up my solo show, and once that's wrapped up, and I got to wrap up some group shows. One for Principal Gallery. I'm gonna get into that stuff,
man.
Because that's gonna be cool. What was the question again? I don't even know.
What was there a question? Oh, there was one though that I missed. Um, Going back to that Lord of the Rings piece. Marion, is that right? Marion is asking, did you need to take a big break after such an exhausting project? Yes, I did. Quick answer to that is 100%.
What a weenie.
There was a point where I was sort of like, do I want to be an illustrator anymore after working on this?
Yeah, that kind of broke you. It kind of broke you a little bit, and
It
it was
busted me up pretty hard.
I was like, just take a break, dude.
Yeah. And I took
And you were
Ray's
like,
advice.
just listen to me. Take a break.
Listen to old Ray, Papa Ray here.
Listen to old Ray here.
Old Razor
Your
Ramon.
wise old mentor. Old Razor.
Yeah, but I mean, I
am done
imagine
with
like
this blocking.
let me see.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, dude, that's looking good. It's gonna be a great piece.
Thanks, dude. Clint, if you're still watching, I'll probably be painting a piece for the gallery soon. Up here after these are wrapped up.
Oh, on our next stream.
Should be a lot of fun. Maybe not the next stream, but yeah, maybe next stream. Maybe
I
next
kind of
stream.
like
Not
this
sure.
as like I think we've talked about this, but it's such a great because you know collectors that buy paintings they want more than just buying a painting. They're also buying like an experience, right? Um,
Right.
and the fact that this is now a video on the internet that they can go see the painting that they potentially own and how it's being created and while we're talking about it, like that makes it like I don't know, man, it takes the artifact aspect of an original painting to a whole other thing.
Yeah, you've brought that up, and I think that's such a good point that I didn't even think about it because it wasn't until I finished up a painting here, actually, that I sent to Principal Gallery, and it Clint, you'll actually know this one. It was I think it was called, oh crap, I forgot what it was. It was like a still life with like a bunch of shoes. It was a small painting, but I did it on here, and I don't even know the names of my own pieces. Um, but
This
someone
well, I
purchased
want
it.
keep going. But I have a question I want to ask you after this.
Okay, so someone purchased it from the gallery like pretty soon after I had sent it over there, and I saw them on. They messaged me on social media, and they shared a story of them unboxing it, and they talked about how they were like, oh, I watched him paint this thing on his show on YouTube,
Dude, there it is. There it is.
and I was like,
The
wow,
experience.
yeah,
But okay, so my question though, um,
yeah,
because you weren't able to remember the names of your paintings.
yeah, my
How
bad, yeah.
important is that to the collectors out there? Do you think? Do you think it matters if the painting has a name? Is that like, would they be like, I don't want to buy this painting if it was just called Untitled? Like, what is going on there? What's the deal?
Oh man, yeah, every collector is different. I mean, there's some. I'm sure there are collectors out there that take issue with that. Sure,
Because
right?
I go to a lot
Because
of
it's like
museums and
it's.
I don't look at the names at all.
I know. Yeah, that's true. Um,
I'm
but
just
there are a lot of
curious.
people that have like, yeah, I think that there are sure. I think there are a lot of people like that that could take exception to that. You got to think like, as you know, owning a painting is a super personal thing. Like you see that every single day, so it's like a part of your family, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so like, can you imagine if I could see a collector would being like, okay, You have a still life painting, and then if it were named, I don't know, Ashley, right? And Ashley happens to be the person like an ex partner of theirs who like where their relationship just fell apart and ended not so great. And the name Ashley, conjures up very, very intense rage. I'm pretty sure that, as much as they like the painting, that might be an issue.
That's a good
I can
point.
see
That's a
people
good
taking
point.
an issue with that.
That's a good point. And I guess there's like
So
there's poetry to it as well. That is never something I'm like paying attention to, but I know that there are a lot of people out there that are very much into paying attention to the words of things.
yeah, and also like there are certain artists that put a lot more emphasis in the titles than others, and that's fine. It's kind of whatever. There's like if there's an issue or like a thing, like there's someone's gonna have it, because collectors are just they're all different. They all
Yeah,
come
yeah.
in different shapes and sizes.
I was just
Um,
I wasn't trying to put you on the spot. I was
no,
kind of
no,
fascinated
no,
with
no.
the
But I
what's
like
interesting
I
about it.
love yeah I love answering questions like that because I realize how personal. Like I've gotten emails from collectors who've purchased pieces and telling me like how it reminded them about their lives and like where they're at and like really sharing these like wonderful stories about themselves. And I'm thinking like, man, this is like it just emailing this random artist, but like there's a connection that I made with them. I don't even know them,
Yeah, yeah.
and it made enough of a connection for them to be like, hey, you really affected my life in a really positive way. So, but I'm sure you get that with magic.
I like this.
Um,
So someone was talking about crappy titles that are just the date. Charles.
exactly. Yeah. So, like it could be that, right? Right. Yeah. There's certain there are, obviously all artists are different, right? There's certain artists where it's like very important, and other artists are like, yeah, I think it's just a date because I put it in. Like I don't want to come up with the title. Mark English, um, whom Tyler,
Yeah, the legend,
Clinton
man, the
knows.
myth, the legend.
He said that he hated. I listened to an interview with him where he was like, yeah, I hate putting titles on on my images. Like I just hate titling my paintings. It's just such a pain. So, but it's because I always forget them too, and I say like I name just these titles like whatever, like boxer, or
Yeah.
flying horse or something like that. So when a painting sells, I always they tell the gallery might tell me like, oh, we sold man in pink and green. And he'll be like, I have no idea what that is. You're gonna have to send me a picture of it because
Yeah,
I
which
I
one?
don't know. Like I don't which one is that,
That's good.
So
That's
I'm
really
not like
funny.
that. I'm not like that, but
Well, I mean, you'd mentioned
I've got
magic.
the
I'm close to that now with magic. I can't remember what the heck they're called. Someone will come up and be like, "Do you have this?" And I'll be like, "Did I even do a card named that? I can't remember." So yeah, it's hard to keep track of these names.
do you forget? I mean, you've done so many cards for them. Do you forget certain pieces that you've done?
100%, 100%. I've done
Okay.
over 150 cards now for Magic, and I
Jeez.
100% have forgotten that I did some of them. Because I was just at a convention in Las Vegas, and someone brought up a card that I'd forgotten I'd even done. I was like, "Holy smokes! All right, this one brings me back."
Like you recognize it, and that's cool, but like, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot. That's not even like in my memory, you know.
Yeah, well, this happens to me. I mean, when I was putting my art book together, this happened too. I was seeing all these paintings that I did for like D&D, in like 2010, like right when we were out of
Yeah.
school, and I was just like, "Oh no." um and I didn't include some of them, but I included a few just cuz I thought it would be important for people to see where we come from.
Yeah. Well, see, so here's the thing with me though. I remember almost all of those pieces that you showed me. Like every single one that you showed me in the book, I remember. The ones
Oh
from
yeah.
D&D, I will remember them. Yeah, I have like a crazy memory.
That's right. You're super visual
When it comes to that.
when it comes to
Yeah,
associating work with artists and like guys, everybody out
but
there. Ray has got this encyclopedic knowledge of people, of artists, their names and what they've worked on and the pieces they've done. It's a
yeah,
superpower.
but like maybe not with my own work though. I'm starting to realize like, oh, I forgot I did that.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like,
I think
oh yeah, that's right. You know, like
I think that's supernatural, like totally natural, not supernatural, totally natural.
you did it. You did it too.
Dang it.
Good night, everyone.
We're done. Oh man. Okay, I do want to put some impasto in on this guy.
Dude, that's looking good. That's looking great. That looks like a painting.
Thanks, man.
I'm impressed by this program.
This program's good. I like it so far.
I'm not impressed by you. I'm impressed by the program.
Oh, great.
100%.
Yeah. No, he's just not one of those artists that just clicks on keys.
Pushing buttons. I think he said pushing buttons.
Yeah, pushing buttons. You're not one of those artists just pushes buttons. Like,
I mean, he really did. He really drew it. Steven,
I love you, man.
How do you think your pictures?
I love you, but what are you talking about?
How do you think your visual effects are done, Steve, these days?
Dude, I remember. This brings me back to that other. I think I've mentioned this on the podcast or whatever we call this thing, radio show. That in that same scene where Spielberg's like, he doesn't just press buttons. Michael J. Fox is like, he's one of the most accurate artists I've ever seen. One of the most accurate drawing artists I've ever seen. And it's just like, yeah, he traces photographs. That's why. Not that that's bad. Don't get me wrong. Everyone in the chat.
No, don't get me wrong.
If you got to trace photographs,
please
trace photographs. It's not a
Do
problem.
It. Yeah.
But it is just like
Drew Struzan will tell you
why
that,
are they interviewing directors and actors about? Why don't they interview some artists?
Amazing.
That documentary.
It's amazing.
It is a really good documentary, but it's also just like, what in the hell? Interview his peers. You know?
I know, but it's like no one's gonna care who these people. If you say Michael J. Fox, then people are gonna watch it. I'm like, but who the hell do you think is coming to watch this movie?
Yeah.
People who are fans of his work.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly. It's like, oh well. I'm not gonna complain.
They had Greg Hildebrandt on there.
Oh, that's true. That's true. They did find another artist.
It was just like for 4 seconds. It's one of the greatest illustrators who ever lived, in my opinion. But
man, did I tell you when I was at the Rockwell Museum, they had one of his dragons, well, the Hildebrandt brothers.
Ooh. Oh, really?
Yeah,
which one?
Like red dragon with like this
just describe
crazy. It was a red dragon like flying at night with this like super burning background.
Yep, I know. Yeah, that's Smaug.
Yeah, it was Smaug.
And the yep. Yeah, dude. It's like red and like orange and blue. It's like he's like just burning this entire city.
Yeah,
right?
and I'm like,
it's all blowing up.
Get up really close to it, right, and see it, and it's just this insane amount of acrylic, just so thick.
Dude, here's what's gonna blow you away. I saw him paint that live.
No way. When?
He at a convention.
Holy crap. That rules.
He painted that in front of people.
He's a living legend.
Like painted this little section. He's literally painting that in front of people. Like he painted this like 13-figure X-Men thing.
Oh, for like
New York Comic Con.
Marvel Masterpiece or something?
For Marvel Masterpieces, yeah, but it was like a reissue or something. I forgot what it was, but it was like another commission that they had done. I mean, this was like a few years back, so it wasn't like in the 90s. But he was painting that live, and I'm like, I'm just like, how are you able to even just think? And he's like, oh no, it's you just get used to it. I'm thinking like, got a trillion figures in here, man. You know, he's like, oh, but it's not all accurate. He's like, look at this. I mean, this is kind of effed up right here. You know, he's like swearing storm. It's great, dude. But like, he's a machine. Dude's a machine.
That's effed up.
Yeah, paint that live.
That's
I don't
amazing.
want. I'm afraid of dropping the f bomb on my own stream, but
Well, you know,
there
we're
it
trying to make
is.
this family friendly. And you've been the biggest problem when it comes to swearing. So I'm glad I'm glad you're cleaning it up a little bit.
we should we should see how many f bombs. You know, I think like the show had like a NC-47 rating. Uh,
We got a rating?
when Kate was on, you know.
Oh yeah. When she used to grace us.
It's actually not true. Those are the days when we were a legitimate operation.
Yeah, when we had a
Now
production staff and
we're turning the old, you know, Tyler's turning in the knobs, patching in the cables. I'm pressing the buttons.
I'm just like, I don't know what's happening.
I hit a button. Does everybody hear me? I'm a cat.
Is that right? Is that right? We're kind of I mean, we're pretty savvy, but I'm more of a
No, we're pretty savvy.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
Luddite when it comes to this.
No, you got Rebelle here.
This is a cool program.
You're painting it, dude. It looks great. I mean, if you were to tell me that that was like an oil painting, I'd be like, at least from like, I have it really small on my end, but
I mean,
I
I
think it
got
looks
it.
great.
I can zoom in on it, but it looks like an oil painting to me. You get some nice
Yeah.
nuance.
No,
which
I have
think
my own
is,
window. I have my own window small, so it's not your fault.
Oh, whatever.
It's because I need to
Change your
fit the chat in.
windows. Change your window size.
Done picking at this. What do we
Um,
got? Half an hour left? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like an oil painting to me. It's got like the nuance and the subtlety and the like natural fibers and stuff coming through. I like it. It's a fun program.
Yeah, I think it looks great. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah. That's got your it's got your signature in it, you know?
Oh, thanks, man.
I don't know how else to say it. It looks like you painted it.
Thank you.
I guess
'Cause I did.
that's the thing with like yeah, I know. With just I don't know, with 3D is that like it's hard to that I don't know, that mark is not as prevalent as one might think.
What do you mean? Say that again.
Makes sense. Well, like I know now, like when someone like I'm starting to get to the point now when I can pick out artists like, oh, okay, that looks like a Florent Leblanc,
Oh,
or
like just
like
by looking
that's
at the
looks like
painting.
yeah, like a Romain Jandot, like or a Eitan Zana. Like I could see that now. Like, oh yeah,
Nice.
that's got the style of that. But
You're
like
just name dropping now. There we go.
barely. But these are all video game like, or like environmental concept artists. But like
Yeah.
it's not it's like when like a sergeant versus like a reppin, or even like I know when you make a stroke versus when somebody like Steve Prescott makes a stroke.
Yeah. I can. I mean, I
know,
can totally do that at this point. I know when I see a painting, like who painted it most of the time.
Yeah, I think it's kind of harder to. I guess I just haven't exposed myself to enough of the art to be like, oh, that's definitely someone. This is this person who sculpted this. You know.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just a product of it being a production art too. Like a lot of it
hard,
is. So
though.
everything's
Yeah.
got to have this.
That's
But like,
pretty
yeah.
hard. Wonder if I could have flipped horizontally. Yeah, that's all right. Sorry, I'm still exploring this program.
No, that's okay. Ryan said, just wanted to say, big fan of you both, and just recently found this channel and been listening to it while I draw. It's really chill. Thanks, man.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's see. I
Follow-up
wanted to
question.
ask
Wanted
Tyler.
to
Oh,
ask
go
you,
ahead.
Tyler, how I can make it. Oh, you reading it?
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I dare you to read live, bro.
No, I can't. I'm
Dare
not
you.
good at reading live. I don't want to do it.
I wanted to ask you, Tyler, how I can go about making a portfolio for WotC, specifically Magic, because I'm planning on making my thesis book as a portfolio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think this. We talk about this sometimes. It's something I bring up. That I try to bring up at conventions when I'm at them. But my philosophy with portfolios, and I think Ray agrees with this, is to make them targeted. And what I mean by that is to make it specifically for the person you want to work for. So don't just show them everything you got. Um, I know it's tempting to do that because you might have like practice pieces from art school, or some figure that you thought was really cool that you did and you want them to see that. But like it's kind of irrelevant to what they do. If you're going to do magic work, they want to see stuff that looks like magic work. And so when you put a portfolio together, target it to that. Target it to magic work. That way, the art directors that see it, they don't have to like leap too far to kind of figure out what you can do. So if you have let's say you have a portfolio that has like 5 pieces in it, and the pieces are, all 5 of them look exactly like magic pieces, like same aspect ratio. They look like they could be on magic cards right away. That is going to go get you so much more traction in an art director scenario, like when they're looking at it, than showing them everything that you've done in art school or wherever. They want to see their own stuff, or stuff that they don't have to use too much of their imagination to see if you can do their kind of work. So work on that. So if you don't have that yet, that's okay. Just start building those into your portfolio. If you're still in school and you still have assignments, just like look at magic cards and think about like, oh, my next assignment I want to make look like this, and go from there. That's the best way to get into these clients, essentially. Any client. Don't just, if it's, I know you're asking about magic, but if it's not magic, think about, if you want to do D&D work, do the same. Look at the D&D books, look at the art that's in there, and make stuff that looks like that, like it could go into the book right away. That's the best way to do it. Targeted portfolios.
Yeah. And one thing I might add too is look at the very best examples
Yeah, always.
of work like that. Like they're not gonna, like, you've got to be as good or better than people, that are being employed by by WotC. So, that's one thing I would definitely do. Like, just kind of put your level of your goal, that level of finish, or that quality level, as high as possible. Aim for the best types of examples. You might not get there, but a little bit less, hey man, that's not bad,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, look, it's like, make it like what you see there. I don't know if that's super helpful, but
Yeah.
it is. It's
No,
the best
it's
way to
super
get
helpful. I think it
new
makes sense.
jobs.
Like, you don't want a portfolio of like, so the thing you have to understand, everyone has to understand about artwork like that, or just in general. For those of you who don't know, I spent the first part of my career quite a bit as like an illustrator. So Tyler and I both, like, we went to illustration school together. So yeah, so I'm just speaking out of like from experience, not out of my ass. Yeah, just wanted to
Finally,
qualify that so
for
that nobody would
once.
turn out of the screen. Uh, the there's a difference between like it with this type of work, with client-based work like that, when you're working for a property or a publication or something, uh, you're being specific to that, having a portfolio that's specific to that publication or to that client is important, because there comes a point where it's like it doesn't matter if it's work is high quality, like the work should be high quality, but is it useful to them, right? So if you do, let's just say you do, like, you don't want to send Magic celebrity portraits like with perfect likeness, because
Even if they're
they
really
don't do
good.
that stuff, right?
Yeah.
If they're great, I mean, it's awesome, like it, right? And same thing, you don't want to send like Magic the Gathering work to, I don't know, publications or for book covers or for comics. It's it doesn't. It's like, what is useful. So that's a huge thing. That's something I think a lot of art students just some of them forget, because they're putting in, and I think it's just because they're not told that, like putting in like fan art or master copies of stuff, like a lot of that stuff just doesn't compute to, it's not appropriate for a portfolio. So just take that in mind.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree. And even if, like, the whole point of this is, even if your portfolio is only like a few pieces, as long as it's like really good, like 4 or 5 pieces that look like the client's work, that's the best scenario you can be in. You don't need like 50 pieces that all look like Magic cards or something, if you're going for Magic work, that is.
What do we got? 20 minutes?
Yeah. We're cooking.
I wondering if I should I must be, this is a different era. I'm done.
Oh my God.
I'm like,
No.
should I switch over?
What's happened to you, dude? Since when do you
No.
get?
For those of you who
Since
don't
when are you done
know,
before me?
I'm usually never done before Tyler, who's lightning fast.
I'm pretty close
You're
to
figuring
done.
out a
I think
program, though.
I'm in the point where I'm
Yeah.
overworking it, but
What does it matter? The point is, I beat you.
yeah, exactly. I'm looking
There.
for excuses.
Now, I think this is blocked in, so I'm gonna let this dry, and I'll put color on it tomorrow.
I'm gonna
You'll
let
see this on
mine-
my Instagram, by the way. But
I'm gonna let mine dry too, I think.
as you can see, Tyler's pretty fast.
This is a fun one to work on. If you haven't seen Last Mohicans, everybody, treat yourself. Treat yourself.
Star Trek 1?
That too, if you want to watch Star Trek 1. Oh, well, thanks, Ryan.
You know what? I just
carrying it with you.
just noticed your. Let me see. Carrying your art book with me, Tyler. It haunts me. Yep.
I think that's a compliment, and I'm going to take it as one.
Well, listen. It haunts me. That's why I put its face. I face it to the wall behind other things.
It's face down, so I never see it.
That said, I played through Control for the first time. I played Portal 2 right now while listening. Do you guys still play video games?
Oh,
Clint, I
Portal.
have not played Control, but I hear it's awesome. Did you play Control yet?
Yeah. Control is very. I didn't play a lot of it, but it was very cool.
Yeah, those are the same people that did Alan Wake, right?
Oh, I don't know.
I think they're doing Alan Wake 2, and I hear it's like, I've seen it. I've seen the promo stuff from it. Just sick. But yeah, we play I play video games when I can, maybe an hour or two at night to decompress. So ever since I got a PC, I used to be a Big Mac guy. I still am, but I wanted to get into 3D, and so Tyler and I got PCs at the same time. We have the same exact PC, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah, and we were super smart. We waited until crypto boom to buy our PCs too.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
We were like,
But
it was right during the crypto craze, and we're like looking for, like, we both need new machines, and freaking GPUs are crazy expensive.
But yeah, I wanted to do a lot more 3D, and it's just not really feasible. It is feasible on an Apple machine, but for the price, you're just not, like, the feature set's just not there. So I started playing a lot more video games because of it, and I've always loved video games. It's a huge video gamer. PS1, PS2 days. Not as much PC, but I did have an okay PC at the time. But now I'm just kind of, it's a great time to be a gamer. There's so much stuff out there. It's awesome. So what am I playing now? Playing through Cyberpunk.
Oh, no way.
It's taken me a while, but I'm doing it's still at the very beginning.
It's supposed to be awesome.
It is, dude, it's so nuts. It's so nuts. The art direction on there is just like, it's so good. It's like, it's Blade Runner meets Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's and it's I really like it. I just absolutely love it. You could just drive around. You could spend hours just driving around. You know.
See, that's like the GTA and Red Dead. That's the kind of stuff I love. Just floating around the map, enjoying it, not even doing any missions.
Yeah. Yeah, Clint said I had a PC back in the early 90s. Duke Nukem, Commander Keen. Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
Classic. Oh, he's picked up his Steam Deck. Oh, okay. As soon as they came out. Yeah.
Yeah, Kate's got one of those. They're really good.
Yeah. And Marion said Baldur's Gate 3 has me eyeing expensive PCs. I know I shouldn't, but ...
Yeah, BG3, amazing game.
Yeah. Clint said he's catching up on all the PC games missed over the years. Cyberpunk is incredible, dude. I'm in the same boat. Like, I'm just like, Tyler's like, you never played this? It's like, dude, you gotta play this. It's like almost 10 years old. Like, I'm the Doom games, like Heat. The 2016 Doom. Yeah, you gotta see Heat. What was the other ones? But now I have, like, games that I've played, but, like, I haven't finished because I get them on sale, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, let's just Batman Arkham Knight. It's like $4. Why not just get it now?
Mm-hmm.
Or it goes back up on the regular price. I'm, yeah. So it's like all of those games I have to kind of, like, sit down. Like, I just got, like, a Mortal Kombat 11, like they were selling, like, the full version of it, like $11 with all of there's something ridiculous with all the characters, and I'm like, I'm getting it. I'm like, I love Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
I haven't played it since Mortal Kombat 3. You know,
the new ones they're crazy. They're super gnarly,
dude. They're great. I haven't like been able to actually play it. You know, but yeah, no, I haven't even played Last of Us. Isn't that crazy?
Okay, that you gotta have a. Well, I guess they have the first one on PC now.
They have, but it's like,
I think the port's
I hear it's not
bad.
A very good port though.
Oh, okay.
I heard it was actually a pretty awful port, and so I'm just kind of waiting for them to kind of fix it. Hopefully, I don't know.
Maybe they will.
Probably bite the bullet and get it.
It's my favorite, like, not video game, but, like, storytelling experience is the first and second one.
I also have like I haven't played God of War,
Great.
the relaunched ones, the recent ones.
Yeah.
I played the
The
original one,
Viking
then God of
ones.
War 2, and yeah, exactly, the Viking one. Um, like I know all the artists who worked on those, like, or a good amount of them. Not personally, but I'm aware of their work and I'm fans of their work. So like Raf Grisati, Della Longfish, and uh, Vance Kovacs, on the Sony Santa Monica side. I mean, they're like all these like crazy. There's so much good art making happening now. I
Oh
got like
yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, have you played that one?
No, no. Is that good?
That is like yeah, I think it's like amazing. But like again, like this is Ray who's like kind of skipped the PS3 generation. Like, look at these things. This is great.
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of stuff on PS5, but I just haven't sat down and played a whole bunch of things in a while.
Yeah, I just don't have the time for like that's the problem. Like it takes me a while to just because my schedule now is wacky. So I don't have that free time as I do anymore. And this with 3D getting into 3D, it's like all encompassing. So I don't even like I barely like I play a lot of like I hop in on a Battlefield game 2042 I got for like
Oh man. Yeah.
$14 or something like that. I just blow up, get blown
Those
up a couple of times, and I'm like, all right, I'm good.
those Battlefield games rule.
Yeah.
The one that was like World
BF5
War
is
One
amazing.
was amazing.
Yeah, BF1. Yeah. Dude, the intro, just play the intro. It's worth the
Yeah.
money just for the
Yeah,
intro.
it was
Like
a
it's
really
just
cool way to
like
do it.
and it still looks amazing. They use a lot of photogrammetry for those elements too. Like they
Oh
scan
really?
real cliff sides and stuff. Yeah. That's why it still holds up so well.
That's great. Yeah, when it's like regular scans, it makes sense. I like this program, man. I
That's
mean,
I'm
we got what 10 minutes
dude,
left.
I,
I'll
dude,
review
I'm
it.
just like sitting back and watching you do this. Yeah.
It's good. This is a. I mean, it's a solid program for making stuff look like an oil painting. I think it's a lot more organic than I've ever been able to get in Photoshop. So if I want to do oil painting looking stuff, I might come over here. I might buy this program.
Looks like one here. So how much is it?
I didn't look at the price yet. I'm just doing the trial.
Yeah, see, Eric said he's currently playing Starfield. See, that's a game like I'm like
I really want to play it, but
I really
want to
want.
wait. I want to wait a little bit. It's sort of like the games I'm really anticipating coming out. Like aside from BG3, like Starfield, I'm like I really want to play it, but I know this is going to be super buggy, like Cyberpunk was, and so I'm
Right,
like worried
right.
about ruining my experience because it's so buggy. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of time, and then I'll dig in because that game's going to be amazing.
No, I'm yeah, man. Sorry, I stepped over your Rebelle review. I think this is
Oh,
important because this is
oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I like it. I like the naturalistic look. Like if I zoom way in on this, there's all this little nuance that I don't think I would necessarily get in Photoshop just because there's a lot of like wiggling around and I don't know, the active mixing works really well that I at least have not been able to get to work very well in Photoshop. And the fact that you have like 5 different modes for each brush is pretty cool. You can even hotkey between them, like if you set your hotkeys to 1, 2, 3, and 4, or you can hold it down actively. So if I hold 4 down, it'll just be a mixing brush. I haven't set that up yet, but if I did, that would be a really quick way to paint. Almost faster than you would with oils, right? It'd be like pulling the paint off really quick and then mushing some paint around and then loading the paint again. So yeah, it's
right.
fun. I think there's a lot more I could
Well, it's
learn in this program, and there's a ton more brushes to mess with. It'd be cool to try and do like a Streusen style piece because they have
Ooh.
there's airbrush and pencils, so it'd be
Yeah,
cool to kind of do a little Streusen style.
that'd be sweet. That'd be super sweet.
Yeah, it'd be fun to
By the
mess
way,
with.
it's there's two I guess there's two versions of Rebele. Rebele 6 and Rebele 6 Pro. I'm just
Oh
reading
yeah,
from their website.
I'm on the pro trial at the
Um,
moment.
okay, that makes sense because it's just a hyper realistic behavior. So like Rebele 6, award-winning painting software with intuitive interface lets you create realistic oil, acrylic, watercolor, wet dry media artworks for individuals, enterprise, and schools. So that's it's $89.99 for that one-time payment, and Rebele 6 Pro, state-of-the-art solution for artists seeking the hyper-realistic behavior of various painting mediums supported by the latest technology in the digital. So that's $149.99 for the Pro,
Yeah,
which
I think that's not that bad.
is
I think it'd be actually worth it.
it's not that bad. No, not at all. Because
It's not a subscription, so
no, it's not a subscription, and I end up paying what $120 a year for Photoshop. Um, that's every year, and I've had it for I don't even know how many years. So, yeah, and it's not like I used any new features in Photoshop really. Hate to be that person. I just kind of do the same things. I mean, I might use a new feature here and there, but like, you know what I mean? Like once you have your workflow,
yeah, I don't. I mean, the only new feature I think
it's
I
not
use in
much.
Photoshop is the symmetry tool that they have now.
See, didn't even use that.
I use that a
I've seen it.
lot.
Was it like doing designs and stuff?
Yeah, if it's like if I'm doing some warrior or something and he's got maybe a symmetrical design on his shield, I'll just turn the symmetry on, and I'll draw it on a different layer, and then I'll just warp it onto the shield.
Oh yeah, that's smart. Yeah.
And it's just in the drawing form
Oh
so that it kind of wraps the way I want it to, or even if I'm
yeah,
doing design stuff, like with the whiskey bottle I've been working on, I've been doing all kinds of design stuff, and it needs symmetrical
dude.
designs.
I was hoping you were gonna say that because I just noticed the your hat.
Oh yeah, I'm wearing the hat,
You want,
everyone.
dude? You gotta talk about that. You got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I
We
guess we
talked
had
about
a
all this stuff in episode 5, by the way. But
yeah, which never aired. Um, the yeah, I've been working a long time with a friend of Kate and I's, Matthew Lillard. He's an actor in Hollywood. He was in Scream, and he's Scooby Doo, Shaggy's voice. He's been for a long time, and we're friends with him, and he wanted to start this whiskey business. So we've created a whole brand, right? We have a master blender, Ale. She's amazing. Kate's doing the story. I've been working on the art with Peggy, who's our designer. So she does like the graphic design and layouts and all of that. And I've done illustration paintings and bottle design and things like that for this. And it's called Quests and Whiskey. If you like bourbon, it's a bourbon. And it comes out, well, we're going on sale actually really soon. I think in maybe a week or two.
yeah, October, you said?
I think October. Yeah, I think our website's going up October 2nd, which is first day of next week, Monday of next week. And then
It's awesome.
there will be the opportunity for people to get in there, buy it. Now, our first bottle is called Paladin. All of our bottles are fantasy role-playing game themed, so they're kind of geared towards the D&D fans out there, or just fantasy fans in general. But we're also, we designed the bottle in such a way that it looks like a nice whiskey on its own, not just like a purely fantasy product. Like, we want people who aren't necessarily into fantasy to be interested in this as well.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll get them into it, But so yeah, we're going on sale soon, and there's only 5,000 bottles for our initial run of Paladin. So I feel like that's going to go pretty quick. So get your hands on it as fast as you can. Questandwhiskey.com. Check it out.
It's awesome, dude. Congrats on that.
It's going to be cool. Our second
Is,
bottle
is
will
pre-order up on it?
no that. So I think when the site goes live, we're gonna make the pre-order access available. You can't buy the bottles directly.
Okay.
We're actually still in the process of finishing the blending down in Jacksonville, Florida, and then they will start bottling it, and it'll be ready. Hopefully, I I
Nice.
I can't. I don't have actually like strict. I don't know the actual dates on like when things are going to ship, so I don't want to say anything in that respect. But I'm hoping it's by the end of the year. So super cool,
Sweet.
super exciting, and we have 4 bottles planned over the next 4 quarters. So we got a lot coming for you.
I'm looking forward to grabbing one. My holiday bottle.
Heck yeah,
I love bourbon. So
it's good. We got to taste it. That was kind of a really fun aspect of this. Is
yeah, I
our
had a taste. I hope it tastes good.
It's great. It's great. Our blender, she sent us a whole bunch of like
I'm
samples.
such a dick.
I hope it's
Such
good.
an ass, right? That was good. Did it taste good?
I hope it's good. Well, it's bad. Tastes bad, but buy it anyways. No, it's yeah, she sent us all these samples and we kind of had like a meeting with the whole team and we tasted the whiskey all together and figured out like who was going to which of the samples we were going to go with for the first bottle and which for the second, and that was super fun. I learned a lot.
Yeah, that's
I've learned a
awesome,
lot
dude.
throughout the whole process.
That's super awesome. That's super awesome.
So yeah, get
I'm
ready. Get
to
ready
that.
for Quessen Paladin coming out soon.
Dude, we got a 2-minute warning on it. Are you gonna sign this thing, or
Oh, should I do that?
what do you think?
Let me see. I gotta find the right brush
If
for
you
it.
only if you're done, only if you want to, man. This is your show.
Oh,
You're the guest.
that's not a good brush for it. I'm the guest. That's a terrible brush for it. Let's see. There we go. Oh boy. There we go. Ba-bam. Done.
Still coming through. Let me see. I can see you going through the brushes here. That was a bad brush. I like the
Yeah.
big one. Nice.
And it's on its own layer, so I can
Sweet,
move it
dude.
all over the place.
So
There
much
you
for
go.
hyper realistic.
This is a pretty
That
cool.
shit should stay there and be immovable.
Yeah, that's true. Should never be able to move it. I think I can move it back. There we go. This was fun. Thanks for joining us, Clint. Nice to meet you digitally. And
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
we're at the end of the time here, so let's sign off. Ray, who have you been?
Sweet, dude. I have been Ray Bonilla. You can find my work at raymondbonilla.com and on Instagram at Ray Bonilla Painter. And who are you, sir?
I have been Tyler Jacobson. You can find my work at tylerjacobsonart.com, and my Instagram is at tylerjacobsonart. But also, go to questendwhiskey.com. Check it out. Buy some whiskey. Get on the mailing list.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. And if you're watching this, first of all, thank you so much for everyone who was joined us live. Really, really appreciate it. And for those watching it on demand, this will go up on demand on YouTube. And if you are watching it on demand, please feel free to, if you liked it, like it. If you really liked it and you're interested in being notified on when we post a new episode, consider subscribing. We have all of our episodes are on YouTube except for episode 5, and so you can watch it on demand. And yeah, turn on the bell notification if you wanted to anytime we go live. And if you want to keep up to date as to when we go, we have shows. Consider following us on Instagram at live.brush. And I think that's it.
Thank
I
you,
think that's it,
everybody.
Tyler.
Thanks, Ray. It's a great
Thank you,
outro.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Tyler.